It's holidays official beginning. Thanksgiving's done with. I didn't gain as much weight as I thought. But before we get into more of that, I would like to remind you to please subscribe, to like, to comment, to hit the bell, to share it with a friend, to go on Instagram, follow us there, to tag us on everything you do, to take part in that new giveaway we're doing.
Yeah, good prizes.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Gym membership's expensive.
Can I rig it for me to get it?
That's why I was like, is it not allowed if I comment? Is that you would know it was me?
I think, because I think we're going to pick it together, and that'd be weird for me to be like, oh, we have our winner. It's Gabby.
Definitely not.
Let's not do that.
Never met her. I don't know her.
But it's a pretty good, solid, package for just about anybody. Yeah. And a lot of people actually, jumped on it pretty quick, which was cool. It's kind of weird though. I don't know how to like, do I repost it again to like remind? Because I feel like otherwise nobody's gonna go back to something old and do it.
Yeah, you just gotta keep sharing it on the story.
Right. I mean, I don't know how giveaways work. Like ideally, you post it once and you just get bombarded, and that's about it. But
yeah, I mean,
is somebody playing the fucking drums outside? Do you hear that?
Oh my God, is there like a parade or something?
I think we might be stuck in a parade. It's a fucking marching band.
But they're not good. It doesn't sound good.
Listen, it's background music. I'm digging it. For my ears to hear it, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's...
It must be for like louder shit for everybody else.
I didn't hear it at first, but now I do.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't realize, our studio is on a second floor above a very beautiful main street. Mm-hmm. So, we kind of have to deal with the life that the town brings us. So if there's a marching band marching down the street, we're part of it.
I say they'll be gone in a few minutes.
Yeah, they'll be gone. It's all right. Except for that person who watches the show and says the intros are too loud. So unfortunately, they're going to have to deal with loud drums. It's Hey, if you're watching right now, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for commenting.
Yeah, I'll take any interaction, even if it's shitty.
To see our growth. Yes.
Follow to see how we fix audio issues. I can't promise they're not going to continue in one way or another, but I do my best.
You get better.
So today on the show, I probably should have said this already. Today on the show, we have Mr. Sam Alvey, the best smile in the UFC. He is, this would be his second time on the show. Mm-hmm. There's certain people that I wouldn't mind having on kind of every day. He's one of them. And by the way, Corey, I'm a big Corey fan now too. I mean, I was a fan before, but like, what a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those, this is my new thing. For those of you who don't know, that's annoying, isn't it? If I keep on saying that. But for those of you who don't know, not everybody is super supportive of their own episodes. Mm-hmm. Somebody at the stature of Mr. Corey Anderson does not need to support every stupid clip I create. That man did. He accepted collaborations. He posted them, about 3, maybe 4. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Oh yeah, it
means a lot. Thanks to that, we got some new followers. We got some people who said, these are my favorite comments. Some guy, sorry, dude. He was like, oh, if it wasn't for this episode, I would have never even known this show existed. But now you have a new follower, a new subscriber, whatever. That's like, that reinforces my concerns, but also assumption that the show just needs to continue to be put in front of people, and some will love it, and some will hate it, and some will just like it, and some will follow, and some will not. But it's just not there yet. Not enough people see it. Mm-hmm. And you can't like what you don't see. So, exactly. But I saw that and I'm like, hey, yes. Thanks, Corey.
It's working.
It is. We're tricking everybody. I am exhausted because I have not stopped all day long. We're filming this on Black Friday at night. And I woke up at 7 because my wife goes shopping with her family, which is great. But basically had a cup of coffee and then started and have not stopped till now. Decorated the house for Christmas. Finished decorating the tree house, which is the fun gingerbread themed tree house. Did the leaves. Yo, I hate doing leaves.
Yeah, they're the worst.
You know what's worse than doing leaves? Doing leaves, and then the neighbors who didn't do the leaves, and the winds are so strong that their leaves go on my lawn right after I did my leaves. That shit's infuriating. So I did that forever, and then cooked a ton because it's my father's birthday today, and I always get asked to bring appetizers because I like to do tapas boards and all sorts of fancy shit. So I was making homemade cheesesteak egg rolls, homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, or buffalo chicken cheesesteak egg rolls, I guess. Yeah. And fresh bruschetta. You
got my eyes. I was like, oh God.
And then on top of that, I just ordered. So if you're in the local area and they are not a sponsor, maybe you've tried them, but I think it's one of the most unique, better pizza places nearby. Brooklyn Pizza in Haddon Heights. Dude. I mean, I called earlier today because they make a ton of pizzas. They're like square pies, very thin and like a focaccia kind of bread. But they make one called the Drunken Grandma, I want to say, and it's with vodka sauce.
Way.
Yo, it's stupid good.
I love a grandma pizza.
Yeah,
so Drunken Grandma can only be better.
It can only get better. If grandma's drunk, we're good. So anyway, so I wanted to order that. So I called earlier. I'm like, I'll just call, and then after we're done the show, I'll go pick it up. Anyway, he's like, we don't take call aheads. I'm like, all right. Well, I kind of was just thinking I order it now so that way I can just go pick it up instead of risking calling late. And then he's like, yeah, but it's just like an hour and a half wait now, and it's just impossible for us to do that. I'm like, oh, you guys are getting too big. You guys are getting too big too soon.
Too big too fast.
But anyway, try them out. They're awesome. I think we got Sam.
All right.
Yep.
Love a good pizza talk.
I know. It's making me hungry.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear us? I can't see you, but I can hear you. Hello. Mr. Sam Alvey. Smiling Sam. Oh, there he is. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Uh-oh, we lagging. What'd you do, Gabby?
I didn't do anything. I was on a good smile, though.
It's a perfect smile to freeze on. When I freeze, I look terrible. Hey, there he is.
Oh,
Can you hear me and see me?
I can hear and see you.
All right. Yeah, we were having a little bit of connection issues, but we're here.
Oh, good. Well, good.
Do you mind flipping your phone sideways so we can see a little bit more of a? There we go. Now we're talking. Well, Sam, welcome to our new studio. I'm hoping at some point you'll come visit us in Philly.
Yeah, it looks pretty sharp. I was saying it looks so American.
Yeah. Which is funny because I'm Mexican. So no, I'm just joking. Yeah, you're watching us through a shitty webcam, just because that's the easiest way to make it work. But yeah, it looks pretty in here. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
How is you've been on before? I thank you again for coming on. You're the man for always being so down and willing, and always reposting the shit that I tag you on, sometimes unnecessarily, but I do appreciate that. It helps. So the last time you were on the show, you were about to move. You were in California still, right? You were about to move. You're in Nashville now?
In Murfreesboro, right next to Nashville.
How's it treating you? How do you like it?
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
It's real America. I can go outside whenever. I just kick the kids outside and say go play, and then I don't have to see them for hours. It's nice. I can see my neighbor if I want to, and if I don't, I'll just look the other way, and there's nothing there.
That's nice. That's peaceful. Were you looking for that, for like a sense of calm?
I just wanted a backyard for my kids.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and they don't have it in California. They've got like little quarter-acre lots all over the place. Here, I've got 5 acres. You got a nice house. well, it's going to be a nice house, and a beautiful piece of property.
That's great, man. Congratulations. How's the garage gym coming? I've been seeing a little bit of updates on that.
Yeah, today I got a lot done on it today. I got the heater in it. I'm going to probably need a second heater. I got most of it drywalled. Turns out I'm not a great drywaller, but I get that going.
What gets you? The spackling or the cutting?
I don't think I'm gonna spackle it because it's gonna be just a gym. And
okay.
I don't. So, but I didn't even really need the drywall up, but I figured I'll do that. I'll make it that much at least.
Yeah.
I got my punching bag up. It's gonna be nice.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. How's the wife and kids? Everybody good?
Oh, they're getting bigger by the second. Well, not my wife, but actually kind of my wife. We got number 6 on the way. And then the other 5 are just doing wonderfully. That's
awesome, man. You're the most calm person I know with that many kids. I got 2, and whoo.
It's all a show.
It's all a show. Yeah. So also another thing you were about to do when we last talked, you were going down on weight.
Yep.
How was that experience? We don't need to go over because that was in August that you fought, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that whole experience? Like, did you feel better? Like, we never got to chat about it afterwards, but like, how was the whole weight thing?
Yeah, I've been to 85 most of my career, so I was just going back. It's never fun getting there, but I can do it. I've got another fight coming up, so I'm inching my way back down now too.
Okay. You're back to doing the fasting? I know you were fasting.
I haven't yet, but I might.
Okay.
I've been reading a book on fasting.
Yeah.
I might even try a couple longer fasts. If you can fast like 3 or 4 days, it's like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I kind of want to see if I can.
I tried doing it for like 2 days or close to 2 days, and then of course I was an idiot and decided to do too much, and then I started not like feeling lightheaded, and then instead of like inching, I just stuffed my face because I thought I was gonna pass out, and that is not recommended. So I'm sure you'll be fine. So Ian Heinich, is that who we're fighting next?
Yep, that's the man.
And that's February?
February 5th.
Okay. How did that was that somebody you wanted to be matched up against? How did that come about?
I'd never seen him fight before. I didn't recognize the name or anything like it. It was I'm fighting on borrowed time right now. I mean we all know I've been in a bit of a slump, and as much as I think I could argue every one of the slumps where the judges fault, at the end of the day, it's me not finishing fights. So I've been blessed. The UFC's given me at least this last chance to prove I belong there. So whoever they were going to give me, I was going to take.
Okay. So, I want to get to your world travel situation, and I should know more about it, but I've only seen what I've seen on social media, and I'm very intrigued by your whole experience and everywhere you went and how that whole thing, came about. But as far as still with the fighting thing, the last loss was decision, correct? It was a decision.
Yeah, it was the eye poking one. Yeah.
Where was the mind at after that? Like, were you super frustrated by the outcome?
Yes, I have been a firm spokesman for firing all of the current judges in the UFC. I think they're all garbage. Even if they're judging in my fight, they're all terrible one point or another. And it might not be their fault. It might be the rule set or what they're told to judge. They're just doing a terrible job. And once again, it was kind of obvious. The dude said I didn't win a round. They said I didn't win a round. And that was with the 2-point deduction. And probably should have been a disqualification because, dude, I mean, I've rewatched the fight a dozen times. The boy poked me in the eye 7 to 8 times. I couldn't see out of my left eye for a week after the fight. It was garbage. And so, yeah, it was a lost decision, but I got to, try and tuck it down deep and move forwards.
So anything changing for this next fight? Physically, mentally, training, anything like that?
The biggest difference is I'm in Tennessee now. So I'm doing a lot of work with the first half of my camp will be out here. The first 4 or 5 weeks will be in Tennessee. I'm working with in Michael Chandler's gym.
Okay.
Michael Chandler owns it, but he doesn't work out here. But it's Nashville MMA, and I've been doing I've been working with them. I like the coaches. I like the people. and I'm going to start my first half here, and then I'll probably finish back in California at the end.
Okay. Well, obviously we love you out here. We wish you lots of success on that one. Big performance, for you. And keep the wheels moving. So how did this? So was this a military thing, like a USO tour kind of vibe that you did?
Yeah, it's like the USO. It's not the USO. What's it called? Elite Entertainment. It's something like that. They've got like a bunch of branches. I'm part of the Cage Crusaders. So I got this is the fourth, they call them tours, the fourth tour I've done. The first one was in Iraq. The second one was Southern Europe. The third one was 27 countries in 23 days. This fourth one, the one I just did, was I started off in Greenland. I was further north than the lights, the northern lights are. The Aurora Borealis. I was too far north to see that. And then I went down to Honduras, and then I finished in Cuba. But I went 2 or 3 bases in every country and just had a hell of a time.
So what's the mission, like what's the purpose of those? Is it to bring your set of skills, or is it just to cheer people up? Like what's the point behind it? Kind
of both. I mean, in Thule, so up in Greenland, which is the base was called Thule, it's only 1-year tours, but you go up there and it's a small base. The whole base is probably 300 people total. And you're stuck with those 300 people for a year. They rotate a little bit. You've got your mission, you've got your job and all that, but you don't get, the internet was terrible. The TV was almost non-existent. They had a really nice gym. So they bring me and Ashley, Evan Smith was out there with me this time. And we give a seminar. We just kind of spend all day meeting and greeting everyone on base, giving them a little taste of home. Then we did the same thing down in Honduras, where they have 3-year tours, where a lot of the people on base haven't been to their home. They haven't been back to America in 2 or 3 years. Then we finished Cuba, and Cuba was kind of the same way. Cuba was a little more like home than the rest of it because you weren't allowed off base. So It really was just little America in Cuba, but it was a lot of fun there too.
Which out of those places was your favorite? Had you been to any of those before?
No, it was my first time to all of them. They were all nice. I loved up in Greenland. It was so cold. I'm a Wisconsin boy, and I'm used to cold weather, but this was something else. So that was kind of cool. Getting to see the icebergs and just be in a place nobody wants to go, and even less people ever end up there.
Right.
Pretty cool. But then Cuba really was my favorite. Cuba's just got that stigma behind it. And now I'm one of the guys to do it. Actually, so I've got, on this Cuba base, there is a McDonald's. It's the only McDonald's in the world that's in a communist country. So, and it just so happened, so every time I travel somewhere, I try and go to a McDonald's, the Big Mac index. In Cuba, it's $6.60 for Big Mac. So I made it there. So I made it to the only McDonald's in a communist country. The McRib was in stock, which is only like 1 month a year.
I was going to say, that's hard to find here.
It is. And so I had a McRib in Cuba, and it was on the lunar eclipse. I had a McRib in Cuba on the lunar eclipse.
Did you see a double rainbow? Did you see a double rainbow too?
Oh my! Incredible. I'm more rare than a unicorn.
That's hilarious. What's behind the McDonald's? Why McDonald's?
Well, the Big Mac index. Every country, you kind of see what their currency is worth based on the price of the Big Mac. The Big Macs everywhere in the world. Is this like a known thing? I've never heard of this before.
I have heard
You've
of
heard of this before?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
Judge how expensive or how
the economy is going, basically.
Based on the Big Mac. So everywhere I go, I try and stop at a McDonald's.
That's awesome. You smoked a nice Cuban cigar in Cuba, I saw, as well?
It wasn't a Cuban cigar. It was a Honduras cigar. I don't like Cuban cigars. I've smoked them a few times in the past.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I've never been crazy about them, but it was a real good Honduran cigar.
Did people judge you for not smoking a Cuban cigar in Cuba? Or they didn't care?
No, I guess the base was kind of like Little America.
Okay, gotcha. Right. That's hilarious. Well, so then, is that something that you feel is kind of like a blessing from your career? Like, is that one of those things that you just appreciate that comes along with your having such a long career with the UFC?
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Henderson did it first, and Dan Henderson actually introduced me to the promotion. And they like the way I teach, the way I work with everybody, and I love doing it. I actually my last tour, 23 days or 7 countries in 23 days. I left 2 days after my son was born, because it really that important to me that I get to try and give these troops something. The biggest regret of my life is that I never served, and that to give anything back really means something to me.
So it's not the same, obviously, level. That has a lot more value to it. But I'm trying to. So I'm from Puerto Rico initially. I'm trying to put together, with some of the guys here, a way to bring, because the UFC, MMA in general, but the UFC, like, that's all very, very small in Puerto Rico. It's not very well known. Boxing is in our blood, but MMA is just starting to kind of pick up a little bit of steam. And I'm trying to organize some of the coaches from here, like, Daniel Gracie or John Marquez, some of these guys who have, some of the more elite fighters out of Philly, and then like the Sean Brady's, all these people, and then bring them down to Puerto Rico for maybe a couple days, 3 days or something, just to be able to teach and be there and kind of just motivate the younger people, who like the sport but don't really have much access to it down there. Anyway, only bringing that up because it's somewhat similar.
Well, I'm not from Philly, but if you need a ginger on that trip, you let me know.
I love it, brother. I love it. I would love it. All right. So then where are we at now with the career? So this next fight is a big deal. I'm going to be positive, obviously. The fight goes your way. What do you want then after that?
I want another easy fight. I want a guy who just recently lost. Maybe a guy with diabetes. I don't know if they're in there. Maybe a fat guy who's good for a round. I got to get my career back on path. It's been a rough couple of years. I know how good I am. I know who I've lost to and how I arguably won all of those fights, but I didn't win. I can argue it until I'm blue in the face. Fact is, I lost. So I want to get a couple wins in there and really just remind the internet of who Smiling Sam is. I
love that. Okay. And here's I don't want to be negative, send any negative vibes, but let's say it doesn't go your way again. What's next? Do you have your eyes set on a whole different path or focus more on this other stuff? Like, what's the...
I'm going one fight at a time. I've never taken a fight that I didn't know I was going to win. I mean, and honestly, I'm at a point where I know how much money I'm going to walk away with. I know what I'll be able to do after that. I know where I'm going to be after that. I've got my home in Tennessee all set up, well, almost all set up. So I'll take it if it happens. I'll figure it out. The good Lord has always got a better plan than I do.
Yeah.
So whatever he lays in front of me is what I'll be doing next.
Yeah, I mean, I bring it up only like more in the sense of like, so we were talking to Corey Anderson on the last episode we just did, and he was talking about how he is like very into hunting and all this stuff, and how he's kind of setting himself up for like, listen, he can be the champion and he can be done whatever he's going to do, but afterwards he knows he wants this other thing that he's passionate about. Do you have something else you're passionate about too, or is fighting the only thing in mind at this point?
I got a lot of kids. I am pretty passionate about them more than anything. As good a fighter as I am, as good as I am, I want my kids to be better at everything. So I mean, it's kind of the nice part of having my job is I get to spend all day with my kids. When I go to practice, I can bring them with me. So if fighting doesn't go the way I need it to or want it to, I'll figure something else out that works well with me and them together. My wife, my kids, and I, we make an amazing team, and that's really the next thing on my mind.
I love it, man. The family together for the fighting, family together afterwards. At the end of the day, it's all about the family, and I appreciate that. That's awesome, brother. Thank you so much. I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much for coming on. Whenever you're local in the Philly area, please let me know. We'd love to have you in here.
No, I thank you so much for having me on again. Well, we'll have to do it again.
Yes, sir. Love it. Take care, man.
Hey, thank you very much, sir.
See you.
Great.
What's that?
Great new set.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very American. Take care, brother.
All right, I'll catch you later, sir.
We are done with Mr. Alvey. You hadn't met him before.
No, I hadn't.
Isn't he a solid dude?
What a nice guy. Yeah.
What a super nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not easy taking a certain amount of losses and being just like he's big on religion and family and all this stuff, and he's solid. Like, he knows what he wants. He fights for it as hard as possible. Doesn't make excuses. Is also vocal, which is great too. But now, you know what I mean? He's I hope he wins this next fight. I hope he has a couple, he can string them together and then decide what he wants to do. Not kind of be forced, you know what I mean, to see what's next. So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see his last fight, but here, 2 eye pokes.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah,
2-point deduction, and he did what?
I know. I vaguely it was a while ago, so it's kind of hard to remember exactly what it was. But I remember being frustrated for him and being like, "This is not the way it needed to go at all." And with the, what we've seen recently, the refereeing has not been great. The judging has not been great. You should check it out. There's a thing called Verdict. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're getting big pretty quick. But basically you just download it as an app and then you go on the fights that are coming up and you make your predictions. And they kind of just to see what, but then they judge it live. So then you see exactly what everybody thinks they saw. So a lot of times you're like, okay, we're all on the same page here. The judges were not. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be a better judging system almost, where it's a lot more than just 3 people.
Or just judges who actually know what they're watching.
I'm sure people have heard it a million times in other shows and other people who are more experienced than I am with this stuff. But a lot of people say it should be retired fighters. It should be retired.
Yeah.
Like, it should be people who's dedicated their life to the sport.
Been in it, they've seen it, they do it.
They recognize things. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of these judges, I believe, are boxing judges as well, and don't know a lot of this control and some of this other stuff that when they're on the ground, it's like, whatever looks good is going to probably get the judge. You know what I mean?
That's so stupid. I
also recently, I forget what fight it was, I'm like, why is there always a third judge that goes completely against everything?
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
There's 2 judges who always agree. And there's always one that's off by like 2 rounds. Always.
So it's 29, 28, 20, 30, 27. You're like,
what the fuck was he watching? I swear there's always like that guy or woman who has to be like the deciding factor. Ridiculous. Anyway. Speaking of, nope, we're not speaking of Philly, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Smooth transition.
You know what? Anyway, I thought of something in my head and then I segued with what I thought without sharing it. Perfect. So that makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Are you watching the new Kevin Hart show on Netflix by any chance?
No, I haven't.
It's as Philly as Philly can be.
Oh, because he was
pretty
at
good.
The Eagles game.
I know he's all over. He's been local recently, but partly promoting the show, obviously. But it's called True Story.
Oh.
Do you even know who Wesley Snipes is?
I do know who Wesley Snipes is, yes.
That's a hard question to ask anybody. I don't think many people know anymore. I grew up in a household where my father was in love with that man. That man has had a career only because my father's the only one buying his movies. Him and Steven Seagal, as my dad was, But anyway, so I saw it. I'm like, oh, he's going to watch this show for sure. He looks terrible.
Oh.
He's so old. He looks in great shape. But like he used to Blade, he used to do all these badass like movies.
Not anymore.
He's looking old. He kind of looks like Scottie Pippen a little bit. Anyway, it's cool that it's a show. I thought it was gonna be a movie, and then I'm like, oh, a series. Yeah. All right, Kevin Hart. Anyway, just thought I'd bring it up since he's Mr. Philly. Listen, Gabby, I think we should remind people to subscribe. Cageside Show on YouTube. Cageside Show on Instagram. Hit it up, like it, be part of the team. See you guys.